Hello stamping friends, welcome back to the 6th video in the April online card class. This is the cute card that we're going to be putting together, and I think you're going to really like this one. It's a little bit different. What do you get in the kit? You're going to get some baker's twine, a piece of Whisper White, a piece of strawberry slush, your card base, and an envelope. You're also going to be getting 5 pieces of designer series paper, also from the 2013-2015 in color designer series pack, and I will be showing you how you're going to be making your balloons with the paper. But first I want to do some stamping, and the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to stamp the balloon on the piece of Whisper White. And I'm just going to stamp one here, peel that off, and then I'm going to stamp another one over here, peel that off. All right, and then I'm going to take the little banners and I'm just going to stamp some fun pieces right here on the corners. I am using Bermuda Bay. You can use any color you want. Okay, so we have that part done. Now, for the designer series paper to make the balloons, if you purchase the framelits, you can just cut out 5 balloons from the paper that you got. But if you didn't purchase the framelits and you want to use your scissors, I'm going to show you how. First of all, whenever you're using the photopolymer stamps, you want to use the Memento black ink because it will stain your stamps less than, say, the StazOn. Now, anytime you use any red inks, purple inks, they're going to stain. There's no way to get around that. But the black, when it stains, it's pretty black. But I'm going to go ahead and use the Memento ink, and I'm just going to stamp onto the balloon, onto the paper. Now, it's not a pretty picture. Don't worry about it. It doesn't have to be perfect. But what you're going to be using it for is your template, all right? And so you're just going to cut out with snips the balloon. A little bit of fussy cutting, but it works. All right, so I don't want you to worry if you didn't get the framelits and you have to go this route. I don't want you to worry because you're going to have so many pieces, and what you're going to do is you're actually going to be sticking these back to back so that stamped, see, this one was cut out with the framelit, so it's a little bit smaller, so that stamped balloon, that ink, is not going to show. All right, so you're just going to stick them 2 back to back. You'll do that with 2 of them, okay? And then you're going to fold them in half. All right, I'm going to show you a little trick because when you get down here to this part, it can be a little tricky. So you're folding the paper, and you get to this little piece right here. If you struggle with it like I did, and the reason that I struggled is because there's 2 thicknesses here, all I did was take my bone folder and just crease it down the middle, and then that way I was able to do that little tail. When you start making your balloons, you'll understand what I'm saying. It's just because it's a little bit stiffer. All right, so we have one balloon that doesn't have two sides. So these 2, your instructions will show you. So you're going to stick 4 balloons together like this so that you have 2. And then you're just going to have one that's by itself. Now, if your one is your stamped one, you know, if you're stamping yours, you're just going to stick that part down. Okay. So again, don't worry about the ink if that's the route that you're going on this class. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and stick my layers together first. Okay, now if you have a marker that I'm using the baked brown sugar, you can take a ruler and draw strings coming down off the balloon. Or if you don't want to go that route, you can simply, let me put this back. Just draw little strings like that. And so I'm going to have my other balloon here, so I'm just going to do that. Pretty simple, huh? If you don't have a marker to match, then just use the this stamp that came in the kit and use any color ink you want. All right, so now we're ready to put our balloon on. Oh, I forgot to stamp one other thing. I need my little bows, and I'm going to use, again, use any colors that you want. Just gonna stamp. Should have done this first, so whenever you do, just use your scrap paper to block so that you don't stamp off on your, like on my layer over here. So I'm just going to do that. See all these tricks you learn on these videos? Okay. And I need to do the same thing. So I'm just going to turn this around. Block it off here. There you go. That's called the cheater's way of doing it instead of ripping your card apart. All right, so now I'm ready to put my balloons down. And so the first one you're going to put down on the cardstock directly, and you're going to be using it more like a guide, okay? So I'm going to go right here. And the reason I'm calling it a guide is these have already been folded in half. And so you have a place to put them, okay, so that you're not trying to guess if they're going to match up. So I'm going to put snail on one side. Actually, I'm just going to put snail on this whole balloon. Ha ha. That will work. And I'm just going to put a lot. Normally you don't need to put that much snail on, but we just want all this weight to hang on there. All right, so now I'm going to take and match these up. All right, so the next thing I need is my little, you got a piece of baker's twine, so I need to attach that. And really the best way would have been for me to tie it around, but it's a little tricky to do. So I'm just going to stick it on right there and not tie it around. You can try either way. The piece that you get in your kit will be long enough, but for me to do it on the video was a little hard. I need another set of hands, kind of awkward. All right, so I'm going to stick that on, I think with, what do you think? Glue dots. And my scissors, where'd my scissors go? Oh, right here. So I'm just gonna stick it. It's gonna kind of go right in between. There you go. All right, so the next thing we need is to put on our Celebrate. Again, we've already stamped this ahead of time. We did this on a previous video. We're going to make our own little banner. I'm going to leave this side flush. I'm not going to turn that into a banner tail. I'm just going to turn this side in. Okay, and let me get my piece. Where did it go? So sorry. All right, so the piece that I told you you're going to be using your scrap from your other card, you're going to stick this on, and I think the best way to do it is just stick it on. And then just trim around it like this. Handmade banners. All right, now we're ready to stick this on our card. I'm going to use some snail. And it will go right here. How cute is that? Three-dimensional. Hope you liked it. Thanks for coming in for this month's card class, and we'll see you next month.